Once upon a time, when the world was younger than it is today, there lived a little green frog in a river with his mother. Now it seems this little green frog always did the opposite of what his mother asked him to do. If she told him to swim east, he'd swim west. If she told him to swim south, he'd swim north. If she told him to swim at the bottom of the river, he would swim at the top. And so it was. He lived his entire life doing the opposite of what his mother told him to do. Now the years passed, and the mother frog had reached a time in her life when she knew that she was going to die soon, that she had lived her life and she was going to pass to the other world. And she looked down at the river where she was living all of her life, and close by was this beautiful mountainside. And she thought to herself, when I die, I think I'd like to be buried on the mountainside. And so she called her son. She said, "Son, when I die, I'd like you to bury me." And then she stopped, because she remembered that he'd always done the opposite of what she'd asked him to do. So she thought about it a minute, and then she said, "Son, when I die, please bury me along the river bank." And so it came that his mother did die, and the young frog set out to bury his mother. And he thought to himself, "Now wait a minute, she told me to bury her by the river bank, but it's so much prettier on the mountainside. I think I'll bury her on the mountain." And then he stopped. And it dawned on him that his entire life he'd always done the opposite of what she'd asked him to do. And so this time, the frog decided to do exactly as she told him. And he buried her along the river bank. But then he started to worry. He thought to himself, when it rains, the river will overflow and wash away the grave. And he began to cry and lament. And to this very day, just before it rains, somewhere down by a riverbank, you're going to hear a frog crying and lamenting a very mournful sound.